and welcome to this quick video in which we're going to provide you with a taster of two of the presentations that will be given at this month's CEM conference, which takes place in Ljubljana in Slovenia from the 24th to the 26th of September. And to do that, I'm delighted to have with me Martijn van Poppel, who's a senior scientist at VITO, one of Europe's leading research organizations. And Martijn specializes in air quality, and I believe that will be the subject matter for your two presentations, Martijn. Thanks for joining me. Perhaps you could give us a brief summary of your presentations.
The first presentation is about the European standardization of evaluation of gas and PM sensors. So it's about the two technical specifications that are currently available on how to do the testing, how to evaluate the sensors, what criteria are there. So it's described on the way how to do it. And I will explain also why certain tests will be included and so on, just to understand what is in there. The thing is that these technical specifications will now be transformed in a real standard, but for that we just started now a validation work, a validation process to transfer the technical specification into a real standard. So this will be about how to evaluate sensors, especially focused on using the sensors in a legislative context. So using the sensors as indicative measurement as described in the European directive or objective estimation as it was described.
Sorry to interrupt, very quick question on that. So are we talking about low-cost sensors here that are very often termed that way? And if so, do you think that the development of this standard will encourage a wider adoption of low-cost sensors? And the third part of that question is, what's the time scale of this standard?
To start with, the standard is about the standard. I'm sure it will improve the adoption of sensors anyhow. But the standard is mainly focused on using standard in a regulatory context. So within the directive. Because the directive describes, okay, you have fixed monitoring stations, and you can also use other tools like, for example, passive samplers with a less quality maybe. But at this moment there was not yet a standard on how to test the sensor for this purpose, and this is what is in the standard. So that's one. In terms of if low cost sensors, that is a term that is often used, but what is low cost compared to what? And what we focusing on in the technical specification, the work we are doing is it's focused on sensor system. So we say, okay, we consider it as a sensor system, and it means that it doesn't only has a sensor inside, but also data communication, processing, and so on. This is also, we use it as like we should use a monitor. It's a complete system, because often if we talk about low cost sensors, often you say, okay, this sensor is very low cost. It only costs a few tens of euros or maybe €100. But then you also need data logging, you need the data transfer, and this also is needed, otherwise you don't have any data. So we consider it as a sensor system, which includes actually everything. And we treat what comes out as the data, and this will be evaluated in terms of performance. In terms of the time frame, the technical specification is there. So this can be used already. In order to be transformed in a standard, there is some more time needed. So we will do now the validation project, which lasts for 3.5 years, and then there will be the transformation to the standard.
Okay, great. Thanks very much for that. So moving on to your second presentation, I believe this will be on an evaluation of VOC sensors. Was it mainly PIDs, or did you evaluate other sensors?
No, we used the PID sensor. So we used the commercial system with PID sensors, and what we did is we applied it to understand emission sources. So what my presentation is about further understanding on how these PID sensors perform, because when we measure VOCs, we have different issues in relation to sensors, because you have different kind of VOC sensors or have different sensitivity to different kind of VOCs. So it's that I will be addressing in my presentation on the performance of these PID sensors.
Sounds like it's going to be fascinating. Thanks very much for your time, Martijn. Nice to talk to you.
Welcome. See you.